What does freedom mean to you, and do you think you have it now?
Sure. So again, I want to bring some, chemical engineering concepts here, right? So when you immigrate, when you go to a new environment and you want to adapt, right? The
Mhm.
larger the difference between your new environment and the previous one is, the more difficult it is to adapt. And it is the same case for molecules when you take them from one medium to another one, right? So the driving force, the larger the driving force, right? The higher the energy required to bring that system to equilibrium, right? So now, uh, you know, as an Iranian immigrant abroad, right, one of the most significant challenges is the sense of disconnection and isolation from the cultural and social roots, right? So,
Yeah.
in general, immigrants often struggle to adjust to new way of life, right? And they may
Yeah.
face discrimination for that, right? Language barriers, cultural differences, right? And these cultural differences, when you move from somewhere like Iran to North America, are huge, right? So then, yes, definitely we have all faced all these challenges. um, I don't have any particular example to mention because there are many, right? But of course, some basic rights are much better, right here, right? Still, if I want to talk about how U.S. is, right? So U.S. has come a long way
Mm.
for human rights, especially women's rights, right? Uh, in US now, women have the right to vote. They did not have it in 1990s and 1920s, right? They have access to education, employment opportunities, and so forth. But still, there are some significant gaps to be filled. For example, the average salary of a female doing the same job as a male employee is less, is lower, right? So that is a gap. Another issue, for example, here in the US is the lack of representation of women in leadership positions, right? So that is why diversity, equity, and inclusion is a big thing. And as an educator and mentor, I personally try to promote that. My research group is about half, female students and researchers from around the world, right? Or many other things, right, in the current society of US, for example, let's say abortion is still a challenge, right? So that
Yeah.
would be considered the right for women, and so forth.
Nice. What about you, for you personally? Do you feel, I know you mentioned as an immigrant, of course, there is a lot of challenges, but do you feel more free in the US, or did you feel more free in Iran?
Well, my definition of freedom, right, which is very personal. I always gauge it by different factors. So, social freedom, right, educational freedom, and I think, yes, I think I do have more flexibility here.
Okay.